Ultraman, Japan's premier toku hero, rides again in a brand new Marvel miniseries from Power Rangers scribe Kyle Higgins. So let's not waste any more time, let's hop into the Rise of Ultraman issue number 1 and find out what happens next, shall we? So then, the comic opens up in 1966, fitting as that was the very same year Ultra Q premiered on television, as we see a member of the Science Patrol, an Agent Morobishi, is struck by a massive red orb. Inside the orb, we can see some kind of strange alien life form, but the two never actually end up getting a chance to speak as the ship is ultimately destroyed. Ultraman fans will know this scene is very, very similar to the origin story of the original Ultraman. I say original because there's actually like a whole world of Ultramen out there, but I am getting super ahead of myself. From there, we transition on over to 2020. Hey, I know that year. It's here we meet Cadet Fuji, no doubt a newer, more modern version of Akiko Fuji, one of the only women characters from the original Ultra Q. Fuji is a new but quickly rising member of the Science Patrol. Think basically the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or the Men in Black, with a particular focus on fighting giant monsters, fitting as Subraya Productions, the company behind Ultraman, was born out of the original Godzilla movies. In fact, a lot of the sets and monster costumes from the original Ultra Q TV show were themselves recycled from Godzilla and other Toho movies. Now, Cadet Fuji hasn't even had proper weapons training yet, but she's getting called up by her superior officer for a field operation. It's a real total baptism by fire as they end up going head-to-head with a lizard monster that's taken over a meat locker. To do battle with the creature, the agents make use of their K-rays. What's a K-ray? Well, no one will actually tell Fuji, which is a major problem because it's her job to fix and maintain the devices. In fact, if you're reading this book for the first time, you actually share Fuji's lack of knowledge because there's whole boxes that are redacted like the comic was a secret government file or something. The agents end up getting overwhelmed, but are quickly saved by a face that will be familiar for longtime Ultraman fans, Shin Hayata, aka the original Ultraman. Turns out this guy is pretty damn good with a K-ray himself, and has been hunting these kaijus more or less on his own, making the brass of the Science Patrol really mad at him. Fun fact, when they cast Susumi Kurobi in the role all the way back in the 60s, they apparently went out of their way to try and cast the most westernly handsome looking guy they could find. Meaning that even back then they hoped that Ultraman and Ultra Q would have some sort of Western crossover appeal. It's also around here we discover that Fuji and Hayate have a pre-existing relationship, one that hit the rocks when Fuji became a cadet, but Hayate never did, not being able to pass the entrance exam. They also have some very different ideas about the future. Hayate just wants to fight monsters and push back the ever-encroaching darkness, while Fuji believes there may actually be a deeper, more sinister conspiracy at the heart of the Science Patrol. Both will ultimately get a chance to show what they're made of, though, when the injured officer from before can no longer hold his own Q-ray and enlist their help to deal with a crashed alien craft. Oh, but it's not just any alien craft, though. It's the giant red orb like the one that killed this superior officer's friend all the way back in 66, only this time when the alien life form is revealed, it makes contact with Hayata, turning him into Ultraman. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everybody, and so that was Rise of Ultraman issue number 1, and I must say Kyle Higgins, who has probably been one of my favorite and maybe most underrated comic writers the last couple years, infuses this new series with a lot of what made his Power Rangers book work, mainly taking everything fans enjoyed about Ultraman and Ultra Q and pretty much just moving that all into the modern day. I'll freely admit I know way more about Power Rangers than I do Ultraman, so I'm sure there was a ton of Easter eggs and in-jokes that I didn't get, but I'm sure fans will love. I definitely respect the restraint this book had to ease us into the world of kaijus, aliens, and giant monsters when they very easily could have just started it all off with Hayate being Ultraman. I know Marvel already had big success with their Conan partnership, and it looks like they're trying to see if that lightning will strike again here for Ultraman. And if this book does sell huge and become a big success, which it has every opportunity in the world to do so, don't be surprised if you see Ultraman showing up in more stuff like Conan has. Another compliment I gotta give this book is that it doesn't really feel like anything else on the shelf right now, let alone anything from Marvel Comics, so if you're looking for something new, or you're just a big fan of Toku in general, I think this comic is gonna do you right, which is why I ultimately give it a 9 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.